In this video, I'll review and demonstrate the Niki new Puzzle Lamp Shade Kit, which sells for about $23 US for the large size, and the Onlite LED dimmer multicolored changing 3-watt bulb, priced at about $12 here in the States. And if you'll stick with me, I'll show you some night video of this beautiful color-changing light where you can see for yourself just how interesting and unique this lamp really is. Now, I have no affiliation with the makers of these products. I'm just pleased at how they look in my home. The puzzle lamp comes in a choice of a dozen different colors and 4 different sizes. The small 10-inch, the medium 13-inch, the large 17-inch, and the XL 22 inches. This thing's about the size of a large beach ball. They're made from a washable polycarbonate and can be used as a hanging pendant chandelier light, or they can sit on a table. The kit includes a 12-foot lamp cord with inline switch. The bulb socket accepts a standard E26 or E27 LED or CFL bulb. And just as a side note, my medium lamp came straight from Germany with a European 220-volt plug and a candelabra socket, thus making it unusable for US and Canadian electrical systems. However, the large size came just fine, set up for the US. The kit comes unassembled in 30 pieces, and by using fewer pieces, 15 different design shapes are possible. It takes 30 to create the sphere. Although assembly instructions are included with the lights, some people have found them difficult to follow and easy to make mistakes. I use Niki New's video on YouTube for step-by-step assembly. You can play and pause through each step, and I found the lamp was easy to assemble by watching this video. I bought the 17-inch large and the 13-inch medium, both white, because I planned to use the multicolored bulb, and it worked out nicely. I installed the larger one in a corner above the TV. Here you can see how it looks above a 47-inch screen in a standard 8-foot ceilinged room. I used a small opened screw eye and a sheetrock anchor to hang the light. And for a clean install, I attached wired molds, cord-mate external cable conduit, self-adhered to the ceiling and wall. For the purpose of showing scale, here's the 13-inch medium light next to a soda can, and the same with the 17-inch large size. These are beautiful lights in spherical shapes with sinuous curves joined by 3 and 5 petal rosettes. Now, this is an accent light. It's not going to light up the whole room. The 3-watt bulb is not bright enough to be used for task or general lighting. But then again, this is how the light looks best, as an art piece in a darkened room or as a party light. I was immediately attracted to its modern design, not only because of how cool it looks, but as an origamist, that is, one who enjoys folding origami. Assembling the puzzle lamp was similar to assembling the components of a 3D modular origami, only much easier. Such as this one, called a 5 intersecting tetrahedra. Or this origami model, called a flexiball, which transforms into some really interesting shapes. Many hours were spent on this one. Here's the 13-inch sitting on my sound system subwoofer. It appears to me that the small and medium sizes work well for table display, whereas the large and XL are better used as a chandelier. Now for the LED bulb. Here are the colors it can display, either singly or in combination, transitioning from one to the next. With the diffuser off, you can see the tiny LED and its circuitry. The IR receiver is tucked in here. The beam from the remote penetrates the Niki New's lamp's plastic and is seen by the IR receiver, controlling the bulb's output. The remote's working limit is about 9 feet. This is the Onlite LED bulb's remote. It's powered by a button cell, easily replaceable when it dies. And the controls are off and on. By the way, when you turn it off, it remembers whichever setting you had previously used, and it'll come on back to that setting, as well as brighten up and dim down. Now these are the color buttons. Any of these 16 buttons will light the bulb continuously from whichever button you push, besides the primary colors of red, green, blue, and white. It has the various shades of each color, red to yellow, blue to violet, and so on. Here are the transition buttons. These buttons control fades and transitions between the various colors. Flash holds each color for about 1 second and then straight cuts to the next color in a random mode. I don't think there's any pattern. Strobe is similar to flash, but it holds the color a little longer, maybe 3 seconds before it straight cuts between the colors. Now fade holds each color for about 5 seconds. It dims and then transitions to a different color. Fades are nice. Smooth, as the name implies, smoothly transitions between the colors. It holds each color the longest as well, maybe 8 seconds. And there's no fade. It just smoothly transitions from red to blue to green to yellow, etc. So these are how the lights look in a semi-darkened room. The third light you see is just a reflection in the window of the highlight, but right now they're in the fade mode. And let's have a look at the light close-up in some of the other modes. Alright, here's a close-up of the large Niki new light with the bulb's red mode showing. I'm not sure if the video is doing the color justice, because in actuality it's much brighter red, much more saturated than what I'm seeing in the viewfinder. But let's go to green. There's the green I just pushed, and now the blue, and then lastly the white. The white has somewhat of a bluish cast, but I think you're seeing a real blue. So the different transition modes as described earlier. Here's the flash, 1 second of each color, and then it does a straight cut into the next color. Okay, and then the strobe now holds the color longer, 3 seconds thereabouts, and then does a straight transition into a secondary color. And here are the two modes that I use most often, which would be fade. Fades down, fades into a different color, brightens up. That in turn fades into another. And then lastly, there's the smooth transition, which is the mode I normally leave them in. Hold each color about 8 seconds. I'm not sure what the video frame rate is doing with the flickering, but in actuality there's no flickering. You might be seeing that on the video. Okay, now we're looking at the smaller 13-inch light, and I have the exposure on the camera turned down so that you can see the definition a little better than if it was at normal exposure. Now the smaller light has, it seems to have more contrast than the bigger light, just because the puzzle piece panels are smaller. It's a sharper curve, so there's more highlight to shadow ratio. It's a little brighter, I think, possibly being smaller. Okay, now I've increased the exposure on the camera, and it's in its white mode right now. There's blue, green, and red, and then I'll just go straight to smooth, which is my favorite mode. Slowly, smoothly transitions into the next color. That should do it for this demonstration.